Hello and welcome to SBC Chat. I'm Martin, and today I'm interviewing Theresa. So Theresa, if you'd like to introduce yourself, things that come to mind when you think of yourself, what do you enjoy doing and those kind of things?
Oh, okay. Right, so I'm Theresa. I live with my husband Roger, and we have a son Tim who lives just in South Croydon and is around with us at weekends, and we have a daughter who's married with 3 children and lives in Seattle. So we have to rely on Skype to see them. I'm retired from work, have been for several years, but worked in IT all my life, starting with computers that were a huge room full with a huge machine that will do the stuff that today you can do with a little device that's that sort of size. So I've seen lots of change with that. I'm church secretary just until the end of the year, when I'll be handing over church secretary of Selsdon Baptist Church, but we have a family link with the church because my husband's grandfather actually started off the church in his house in Selsdon in 1927. So the Nichols family have been involved with Selsdon Baptist Church for a very long time.
Wow. There's on that, there's actually a plaque, isn't there, somewhere? Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was on the a hall, the Sunday school hall, and it was in memory of Roger's grandmother, who was his grandfather's first wife. And it was labelling the hall the Edith Nichols Memorial Hall. And when that hall was demolished, when the halls were redeveloped in the 1990s, the plaque was put in the sort of garden space outside where the upstairs kitchen is now. It's a bit overgrown, but it's there somewhere along with a couple of other commemorative plaques.
It's cool. That's cool. I really love the fact that you used to work in IT. So in my mind, like, most of IT support has been turn it off and on again. Was it still the same back then?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, when I first started, though, if you were a programmer, which I was to start with, you couldn't get anywhere near the computer. They were in an inner sanctum that was all air conditioned, with operated by mainly guys in sort of overalls they'd put on over their outdoor clothes, with like a sticky mat, a non-static sort of mat that you'd have to walk across to get into the computer, and only the actual chosen few could actually get their hands on the computer, and everybody else you had to rely on writing out step-by-step instruction sheets that they went to actually get things going on the computer.
Sounds like a scene off Space Odyssey.
Yeah, rooms full of whirring, discs with tapes and lights flashing on and off and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Now, when I first came to Selsdon Baptist Church, first Baptist church that I've been part of, and you were introduced as a secretary. Now, in my mind, the secretary was assisting the minister, but your role is so much bigger than that. Do you just want to the video can only be 10 minutes, so probably keep it to Yes. What does it mean to be a secretary in a kind of Baptist church? It was just for those people that want.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit more like a company secretary of a business rather than the director's personal secretary, that you have. The main role, I suppose, is being the link between the minister and the rest of the church family. So trying to make sure that the things the minister is thinking about are the things that the church needs to think about. So working on agendas for church meetings and also for deacons meetings, having a general oversight of what's happening in the church. I mean, I don't know everything, but I know a man who does, kind of thing, or a woman who does, and I can find things out. There's a lot of legal stuff. You're a charity trustee, as are all the deacons. So there's a legal role in making sure that you're doing things in a legal way, complying with charity law.
So I know you and Roger really like your holidays in France. Like you say, you've got a place in the north of France, but you also go to southern France quite a lot. Why? What? Why do you enjoy it?
Oh, it's just a totally different way of life. A slower pace of life, more relaxed. Obviously, we really like the the food, the wine, and the culture. We find French people that we meet are very warm and welcoming, and if you try and speak French, they are so appreciative. We find it's very friendly. It's just been somewhere we've been going for a very long time, and we know it well, and but there's always something new to discover.
How did you and Roger meet? How did that? I feel like, was it in a youth club? This might be a curveball. I feel like you've told me, but tell me again.
Well, yes, it was a youth group at Purley Baptist Church, which Roger had sort of grown up through. I'd grown up at Hooley at the start of the 23, and there was a Sunday school there which I went to, got packed up on Sunday afternoons to start with, so the parents could have a bit of peace, and as we grew up through the Sunday school, if we were still interested in faith, we got linked in with the youth group at Purley Baptist Church, and it was through there I'd seen Roger at a distance, and we got chatting at a Christmas Eve party, and things just developed from there.
Yeah. And how long have you been together now?
We've just celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. Yes, so yeah, and we've been going out for a couple of years before that. Who
is God to you, Theresa? What comes to mind when you think about it?
Well, I guess he is the reason for everything. He's the one, just in whom we live and move and have our being. So he is the purpose behind this world, and he's the purpose behind my life. But he's not just a distant figure or a scientific formula. He's a person I can speak to and hear from, and be close to, because of what he did through Jesus, in that he is perfect. His ways are holy and perfect, and he's got a perfect plan for the world. He did have in the beginning, and he's got plans now, and I don't always go along with them, I know that, but through Jesus, I can ask to be forgiven. There was a once and for all time when I came to Jesus, and it decided to follow him, believe in him, put my trust in him, and was forgiven. And then day after day after day, I keep on getting things wrong, and I keep on asking to be forgiven, and I keep on getting forgiven and being welcomed back into God's heart. And it's just amazing that he is so wonderful and holy, and yet he cares for me on a personal level. And I think I felt that particularly earlier this year when I had a little bit of heart problem and was in hospital and had to have a procedure at very short notice, and signed the form accepting that there was a risk that it might go wrong when they did this procedure, and thinking, well, that could be quite serious with heart, but actually that a real sense of peace that whatever the outcome, God would be there with me and holding on to me, and it would be the right outcome for me. So, So very conscious of his presence then, and at other times when life has been hard, and I needed a strength that wasn't just my own to get through it.
SBC, we like to pray for each other. Is there any prayer requests that you have for yourself, your family, friends, or wider community?
Well, I suppose I'm quite conscious of people, particularly in the church family, who live on their own, and just how hard this is for them. I'm just so thankful that that isn't the case for me, and that we've been it's a real encouragement to have someone else going through it with you. So I would just think about them. I mean, the other thing is, you did mention the deacon's election, but I would just, yeah, that's really on my heart, really, that as I stand down as church secretary for the new church secretary and the new deacons who will hopefully be voted in as they get to grips with what SBC needs going forward, really, because God's work won't stand still.
Thank you, Theresa, for taking part in the SBC chat. If you'd like to take part, please send me a message. Yeah, God bless, guys. Bye.
Bye.